Does the company have to do a good job onboarding in order for you to have something to work with? Or can you wave a magic wand and make anything happen?
No, you've got to have the will to sell and the skill to sell. You've got to have both. I was keynoting for a big car conference yesterday, and somebody asked me the same question. And I answered it this way. David Brooks has a wonderful book called Character. And he talks about two types of virtues: resume virtues. I talk about this in my book, and eulogy virtues. Resume virtues being the skills, right? So, do you have the experience? Do you have the skills to speak well on the phone, to tell great stories? Are you a strategic thinker if you're an AE, et cetera? Do you have the skills? But then there's the eulogy virtues. The eulogy virtues are, right, what some people might call emotional intelligence skills. What would people say about you at your funeral? Were you kind? Were you driven? Were you compassionate? Did you have empathy? And I do believe that you need both. And if I were to pick one, I would pick the eulogy virtues and train them the skills, as long as they have the drive and the intelligence. Because without that, I got nothing, right? I mean, we've all had these high maintenance sellers that have great skills or a great track record, but they don't have any drive. I need will. I need like somebody who on a Saturday, like they're just maniacally trying to constantly improve. That's what I want.
So, Shari, can salespeople be motivated? Can salespeople?
Absolutely. And it all depends on the leader, right? And what drives me crazy, I'll tell you what really drives me crazy, is when you see these leaders and they're sort of managing the lagging indicators, and they kind of go by and they go, hey, where are you on quota? What do you need to do? It's like, here's the deal. What happens in the training, recruiting, and coaching process will be duplicated by your sellers in the sales process. So if we talk more than we listen, if we don't lead with empathy, guess what? Great coaches sit down and get to know the whole human. Who I can't affect your outer world if I don't understand your inner world. One of my favorite questions I love to ask sellers is, depending on the level, if you got an extra $5,000 a month, what would you do with it? And they're going to come up with some crap answer like, oh, I'd invest it. But then you've got to go, well, and then what? And if you do 3 or 4 and then what, you're going to get to what I call the 7 emotional motivators that drive all decision making. See, I have to break things down. To me, there's 7 motivators. Like if you look at anything you've ever bought, a car, a house, a pair of jeans, or a job, there was an emotional motivator underneath it. And once I find out what is it for that seller, is it that, they want to travel the world one day? Is it that they've got a baby and they didn't get their college paid for and they want to save up so their child can have a college education? But there is underneath it, it's money is a secondary motivator. It's what am I going to do with the money? Wow. And once I get that, I have an employee right now, I adore her. And her motivator in life is she wants to raise her kids so that they have more than she ever had. And she wants time with her family. Mm-hmm. So when I go to motivate Lindsay, I'm not going to say, hey, you could make an extra $5,000 a month. I'm going to go, hey, let's get the kids to Disney. Let's get the kids to Hawaii this month.